And then all of a sudden I'm trying to build a castle
Yeah.
on top of my bungalow, you know. So you have to kind of be a bit of an octopus. Can't we just nail a foot to the floor? And I thought, oh, okay.
Maybe we can.
Maybe we can. And the prototype did sort of end up in the back of the cupboard quite a lot.
What motivated you to bring it back out?
Coffee with a Female Founder is where we have honest conversations about everyday business with the women behind it. I'm Amy, your host and founder of Course Studio, a marketing and business consultancy, and The Female Founder, a community-driven learning platform. Each episode will chat over a coffee with a different female founder, diving into their challenges, wins, lessons learned, and the advice they wish they had when starting out. The coffee is delivered to us courtesy of vexcoffee.com, which is the UK's freshest coffee discovery club. Every month, they expertly handpick 2 small independent coffee roasters for you to explore. They've been kind enough to give our listeners 25% off your first box using the code FEMALEFOUNDER or using the link in the show notes.
Okay, so today on Coffee with a Female Founder, we are joined by Ashley, a physiotherapist with years of experience in the NHS and the private sector, but now a founder of Stand Sure, a rehabilitation product. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you, Amy.
So you've had an amazing career in physiotherapy, both private sector and NHS. What originally spurred you on to go into that world?
I left school at 18 with a handful of A-levels and actually didn't know what I wanted to do at all. So I ended up in an office for 2 years, actually working in banking. And then realised after 2 years I didn't want a desk job. And my mum at the time was, she was having some physiotherapy for a back condition.
Okay.
And I went along to a couple of her appointments with her. And I thought, oh, this is quite interesting. And I did have quite a strong science background from my A-levels. And then I did a little bit of volunteering at the local hospital, sort of shadowing the physios around the hospital. And that kind of piqued my interest. That it was a really nice way of combining a bit of science background with actually helping people. So I then handed my notice in with my job, applied to Guy's Hospital, and I got on the 3-year training programme.
That's amazing.
And that was 30 years ago.
Wow.
So a long time.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So have you had any medical background before that, like any of your family or anything like that?
No,
so you're the first one?
Everybody in my family worked in offices.
Oh, wow.
So I think that was kind of why that was the route that I took.
Yeah.
But then realised it actually wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be on my feet a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just working with the general
Get
public.
stuck in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so no regrets.
Good. So do you think that you've had any kind of transferable skills from the banking world to physiotherapy, or was it polar opposites?
When I started, so I went for the NHS. I did my training. I went into the NHS, did all my basic rotations.
Yeah.
So your rotation is basically 3 months or 4 months in each specialty. So you gain a little bit of experience. I did orthopaedics. I did musculoskeletal, neurology, worked on a neurosurgical unit, chest physio, respiratory. So I did all of that. And then went into musculoskeletal. So that's bad backs, bad necks, joints, muscular health, sports injuries, that sort of thing. So when I became self-employed, the little bit of business background that I had just enabled me to keep my own accounts.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on the books, really. So that was probably the only transferable skill that I had from those days.
Okay. So you stint in NHS. Did you specialise in MSK?
While I was with the NHS.
Whilst you were with the NHS.
So I did that sort of Monday to Friday, and then I had a private post role on a Saturday at a local practice. I gained a little bit more experience that way. And I used the private work to fund sort of postgraduate training as well. Nice. Just so that you keep current with different approaches.
That's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then self-employment was how long after being in the NHS?
So I was in the NHS initially for 3-4 years, and then I was self-employed probably for about 10 years.
Okay.
And then I went back to the NHS.
Nice.
And started a master's degree.
Yeah.
Did that. Didn't finish it, I must say. and then went back into private practice, and I'm now working in paediatrics.
Amazing.
And I'm doing paediatric MSK, and I've been doing that for about 8 years now as well. Yeah.
Okay, what got you into paediatric?
So it was actually, I'd taken a little bit of time off after my last private role. I was actually working in occupational health, and I've been doing that for, probably about 10 years. And then I decided to just take some time for me and met up with somebody that I'd trained with, who's also a good friend of mine. And they were actually looking for a physiotherapist to just help them manage their MSK waiting list.
Okay.
And she said, "Do you want to come and work with us? We're a small friendly team." And I said, "Oh, well, I haven't really done paediatrics before." And she said, "Well, that's fine, we can support you." So I went initially just for 6 months to help manage the waiting list, and sort of 8 years later.
So it was a way though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I found I really enjoyed it. You know, the children seemed to like me, which was
That's good.
which was a bonus.
Yeah.
And sort of really enjoyed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So through working NHS, working private, working for yourself, what bits did you enjoy? What bits did you not enjoy?
The admin I didn't enjoy.
From being self-employed?
From being self-employed, the keeping on top of the books, basically.
Yes.
I'm not a natural administrator.
Yeah.
If you sort of go into my desk, it's like piles of paperwork everywhere. Whereas my sister's the polar opposite. She's misorganised. So I didn't particularly enjoy the admin side of things.
Yeah.
And with the NHS, there's obviously a lot of paperwork associated with that. I really like the hands-on physio. Meeting people.
That's the best thing.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
it's been a very varied career.
Yeah, but it's good.
And met
it's
some very interesting people.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favourite roles, actually, apart from the paediatrics, was I helped to set up an occupational health department in-house with an international law firm in the City of London.
Amazing.
Yeah, so it was that was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we actually brought all the primary care and basically we were trying to address sickness absence.
Okay.
And by bringing all the care in house, there was better communication between the staff and HR.
Yeah.
And then we had schemes in place to bring people back to work, probably more quickly and more safely on a sort of return to work policy. Yeah.
Right.
So that was quite interesting.
Yeah. So do you think that you got quite a lot of business experience doing that, setting something brand new up?
Well, there was always probably not so much business, if I'm honest, because I was there as the therapist,
right?
And then you had health and safety and HR in the background, you know, sort of pouring over all the policies.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of there in the background. I wouldn't say I got massively involved in the decision making and the policy making.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously now you have a business, Stand Sure. Where did that come from? Because it seems like it's completely flipped on its head from being not self-employed, I guess, but being in the NHS and private sector. How did that entrepreneurial spirit drive pop out of that?
I was working. So this was while I was a sole trader.
Okay.
And I was working primarily in adult musculoskeletal. But a friend of a friend had a parent she'd had a stroke. And whilst I'd done stroke rehab years ago,
yes,
it wasn't my current practice. But she was desperate for me to go and just have a look at her mum, and it was a very dense stroke. She was bedbound, being fed through a tube, and the family had to bring the bed downstairs. So their dining room was basically a hospital, hospital room. And long story short, in that started doing some rehab with her, and then we got to the point we could sit her, and then wanted to stand her up. One of the problems that we face, especially with neurological conditions, is that you can't always keep the patient's feet flat on the floor. So in conditions like sort of post-stroke, any condition with spasticity, high tone or low tone. Often, they can't keep their feet positioned on the floor, which then makes standing them up very challenging. And as a physio, you're either trying to use your own feet or your own hands. So you have to kind of be a bit of an octopus as well, trying to, sort of manage those body parts while you're then trying to hold them, hold the head up or hold the trunk up. So you either need to be an octopus or you need your +1.
Yes.
Who normally crouches on the floor holding the feet for you. And in this situation, I was obviously going into the patient's home, and it was the lady's husband who was my +1, sitting on the floor, holding her foot down while we tried to stand her up. And one day he was actually getting really annoyed, and a bit disgruntled with his role. And he said, "Oh, can't we just nail her foot to the floor?" And I thought, oh, okay.
Maybe we can.
But let's do it humanely. And so off the back of that, I thought, how can we do this? And so we actually got a piece of plywood and we super glued her slippers to it.
Wow.
So she basically, we put her feet in the slippers, and then the weight of her good leg was then holding the board on the floor and consequently holding her straight leg down.
Okay.
And then we could stand her up. And that seemed to work really well. So we kind of tested the theory, actually, that device did that job. So I went online because I thought, there must be something a bit more professional out there, and couldn't find anything. And so I thought, what are we going to do with that? And then my husband actually said, well, why don't you make something?
Wow.
And it was like, okay, well, how do we do that?
Yes.
I ended up, it's been a very long journey, actually. It's been 10 years, actually, from having the light bulb moment to kind of where I am now. And I started off working with an innovations company who took quite a lot of money and presented me with some beautiful drawings, but then couldn't then tell me what to do with the drawings.
Right.
I think things have changed, but I'm talking 10 years ago. And went to a couple of manufacturers with the drawings, and they said, it's a really good idea, but the cost of tooling this, you're looking at £50,000.
Wow.
Serious money.
Yeah.
And
is that to manufacture like a stock of them? Or was that just the kind of initial prototyping?
That was an engineering firm.
Okay.
Who were engineering medical products.
Right.
And they said the drawings that I had, there was lots of nuts, bolts and screws. And they said, you do realise that you've got to build a machine to build all those nuts, bolts and screws.
Wow. Okay.
To a certain specification. And I didn't know any of that. So that's kind of been a bit of a learning curve. And then the guy said there was an occupational therapist working alongside them. And she said, what about a bit of Velcro?
Yeah.
So I thought, okay. And then I ended up at a trade fair, actually, just walking around, and I met, it was the HDTI, the Health, Design and Technology Institute, based at Coventry University.
Okay.
They had a stand there, got talking to them, and they invited me along to their offices, and I ended up working with the design master's students.
Oh wow!
And they literally stripped back the drawings to its most basic, which then gave me a prototype that I could then take into the community and start testing.
Wow, that's incredible.
We were testing it for several years, actually. The thing I learnt with prototyping is you do actually want things to go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah,
because
so then you can improve.
You learn from your mistakes when something goes wrong, and you don't want it going wrong when you've actually got it in production.
Yeah.
So you want to make all your mistakes before you actually put it into production. So that took a few years, actually testing different materials, testing different shapes for stability.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like my learning curve has kind of bumbled along.
Yeah.
For several years. Yeah. And then during lockdown, the learning curve flatlined completely.
Of course.
The prototype ended up under the bed for 2 years. And then once we all resurfaced, that came out again. And then I was introduced to a manufacturing company that we actually use in the NHS for our walkers and standing frames and seating.
Yeah.
called RMS. So that's Rehabilitation Manufacturing Services, and they're based in Kent.
Okay.
And it was a chance meeting. They'd come along to do a new product demo for the team. And I was kind of humming and hawing whether or not to go to the meeting, because it's like I had so much paperwork to do. I thought, can I? But I went along to the meeting, and then right at the end, the sales rep said, "Oh, if anyone's got or knows of anyone that's got an idea for a new product, we would like to talk to them." So I stuck my hand up straight away, Hermione Granger, hand shot up in the air, and I said, "Oh, well, actually, I've got this prototype. I'm trying to get to manufacture." He said, "Come down and meet the team."
Wow.
So I did, and then from there it just snowballed, absolutely rocketed, and they were instrumental in helping me find the right materials. I had one size of board, and they helped me sort of scale it up and scale it down for different age groups.
Okay,
So I've now got a small, medium and a large.
Cool.
They helped with the CE marking. They helped with the technical files. So this was all things that I didn't appreciate went on in the background.
Yeah.
I've had a lovely tour of their factory, which has been very insightful.
That's good that you can go and see the factory and see it being made. And
that's so important, because as physios, we are using so many different pieces of equipment. All we see is the finished product.
Yeah.
And then think, you see the price tag. It's like, how much? Well, and then you suddenly realise how much work has actually gone into that finished product, and how much skill it takes to make something that's quite simple.
And time. It's been 10 years in the making, and time.
Yeah. I can't say it's been 10 continuous years.
Okay.
There have been. I had a baby in between at some point. And so in all of that, I was sort of raising a child. Wow. And the prototype did sort of end up in the back of the cupboard quite a lot.
What motivated you to bring it back out?
That's a really good question. I think it's probably easy to answer. What demotivated me to put it away is every time I hit a dead end, I just thought, this is never going to work.
Right.
And then I'd put it away, and at times I couldn't even bear to look at it. And then all of a sudden, maybe 6 months later, you'd start having a conversation with someone. And they'd say, "Oh, well, I know so-and-so, so-and-so. Why don't you go and talk to them?"
Yeah.
And then you go and have that conversation. If they can't help you, they might give you a card of somebody who can. So the thing I did learn was networking was actually really important. Yeah. And there's no such thing as a bad conversation, actually. Even if you come away thinking, that wasn't for me. At least it wasn't for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And often it then points you in. You often learn, don't you, from trying things you don't like.
Yeah.
Actually, and then you find something you do like.
Cool.
So it was those conversations where I felt like I was being put back on the right track.
Yeah.
That then motivated me to get it out the cupboard and have another look at it.
Wow.
And then gradually, once RMS were on board, they were very good, because I took basically a kind of a finished working prototype to them. They smartened it up, made it look pretty, helped me with a logo.
Yeah.
And then I felt it was at the point we could actually start putting it in front of other physios. I'd had a small, trusted little group of physios helping me with the prototypes.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. And I guess that would be one of the pieces of advice I'd give. When you come up with a new idea for something, in the intellectual property world, they're like, don't tell anyone. Protect your idea. Yeah. But actually, you don't know if it's a good idea if you don't tell anyone about it. And I have seen people actually lose a lot of money because they think this is a good idea, and then £50,000 down the line, it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't such a good idea.
You need your target audience to think it's a good idea
too. Absolutely. Yeah. You do need to have maybe trusted friends and family and a few fellow professionals that you can actually discuss your idea with and bounce ideas off.
Yeah.
Actually. And I also learned that not everyone's actually there to pinch your idea.
No.
Because innovation is so hard and takes so long.
Yeah, exactly.
It puts
they
a lot
might
of people
not have
off.
the resources to do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. So, once it was actually at the point where I felt confident to put it in front of other physios.
Yeah.
And then they started using it and then saying, can we actually buy one?
Oh, that's
And that
cool.
was actually, I think that's probably been the pinnacle of my career, actually.
Yeah, that first sale.
That first sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That somebody actually thought, yeah, that's a really good idea, and I'm actually prepared to pay you for that.
What did you do to celebrate?
Oh, probably a glass of cremon and a steak dinner somewhere.
Love that. I love that. Do you celebrate your wins quite often then?
I like to. I think not always with a glass of cremon and a steak dinner, but I think it's important you give yourself the proverbial pat on the back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Actually, you know, even if it's just in your mind that you think, oh, actually,
well done.
I did all right with that. Yeah,
That's so cool.
I think we're very good at kicking ourselves in the shins when it goes wrong, but it's also important to give yourself a pat on the back when it goes right.
Yeah, 100%. Amazing. Do you want to? So the camera can't see it right now. Do you want to get it up?
I will do.
Show.
So this is my baby. This is Stanshaw. Can the camera see that?
The camera will be able to see that, won't it, Matt?
Put it to the right a little bit. Yeah, no, that's good. That's perfect. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Amazing. That's incredible. So walk me through it. So my partner is a physiotherapist, so I don't really know too much about it, but I'm sure he will. So he'll be interested if no one else is.
Okay.
But walk me through it. What does it do? So you said the feet go in.
Yeah. So basically, it's your extra pair of hands at
Okay.
ground level.
Yeah.
The uses for it, which I'll come to later, are evolving all the time. Because the more physios
Yeah.
that are using it, it's like are coming up with novel uses for it.
Okay. Yeah.
I first intended it as a grounding device at floor level to sit the feet in
Yeah.
that would actually keep the feet parallel and the heels down
Right.
while you're doing activities in sitting, sit to stand and then in standing. So for some sort of patients with neurological impairments, even when they go to lift their arms up above their head, their feet will fly off the floor.
Okay. So it's just
And then often
stability.
they'll fall backwards.
Right.
So actually it seems like keeping the feet grounded
Yeah.
sets up this kind of chain reaction
Okay.
of helping with improving global posture.
Right.
And so we've used it in sitting just to keep the feet grounded while we're doing activities maybe with the upper limb and working on good posture. We use it for repetitive sit to stand. So sit to stand is basically you squatting.
Yeah.
And it's an overall conditioning exercise. It helps to strengthen. It helps to recruit all your global core muscles. It improves your endurance. So it's used a lot in rehab.
Yeah.
Helps balance. Taking the first step forwards,
Yeah.
heel strike, climbing stairs. You know, there's a lot of carryover. And then we use it in standing as well
Okay.
to improve the length of time you can stand for.
Right.
And then physios have then taken it a step further and are now doing variations of taking one foot out, maybe
Okay.
putting a step there to duplicate going up a stair,
Yeah.
doing a little bit of step standing with it. We've used it in hydrotherapy to keep the feet weighted down.
Nice. Is it quite weighty then to kind of
It's,
keep them going?
It's not that heavy.
Okay.
It had to be heavy enough
Yeah.
to keep the feet positioned. It depends on the level of ability of your patient, so you have to sort of select
Yeah.
your patient.
I guess the physio could also probably put their
You
foot on
could
it and
put a
stand
toe on it as well,
Yeah.
yeah. But you know, in a lot of cases, we would either be sat behind the patient with our feet on top of their feet,
Okay.
trying to keep them down, or like I said, you know, you'd have your +1 on the floor, actually trying to hold the feet in place while the physio then.
Yeah.
So it's in some situations, it's actually turned sort of like a 2-man job into a 1-man job.
That's
as
really
well.
good.
So especially if you work in the community, you know, it's portable, it fits in the boot of your car, you can
Yeah.
wipe it clean,
Yeah.
and you don't need your assistant.
Amazing. So are you selling this kind of privately to private physios? Are you trying to get a contract with the NHS?
I did start off with private practices.
Yeah.
That's been a lot easier actually to get into, simply because they don't have all the constraints.
Of course, yeah.
I am now working. So I was accepted onto the NHS run a clinical entrepreneur programme, which is basically, which I applied for. I had to do a 10-minute pitch to them, which was terrifying because I've never done it before. And then was actually accepted onto the programme. It's been running for about
amazing.
10 years now. It was actually introduced by Professor Tony Young, who's based down in Southend in Essex. And the idea behind it was to bring NHS staff who had a good idea. Didn't have to be just clinicians. It was anyone who'd had a good idea that could benefit staff and patients.
Wow.
And then what they do is they actually have a year of mentoring. So kind of depending where you are in your innovation journey, if you're just at light bulb phase, you know, they'll help you with the prototyping. They'll introduce you to the right investment people, the right manufacturers, the right engineers. Yeah. I've kind of did all of that.
I wish joining,
I wish that I'd known about the programme 10 years ago. I might have got here a bit quicker. So I've been accepted onto the entrepreneur programme, and at the moment they are being instrumental in helping me get this into the NHS.
Okay.
The procurement process is quite a challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm having to learn all about procurement at the moment. But I'm getting there.
Amazing.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's honestly.
I think the other challenge with the NHS is obviously their budgets.
Yeah.
Because
you've got to get in at the right time when the financial year ends.
Absolutely. I can say to them, look, you know, this is in some instances it's instead of your extra physio or your extra assistant.
Yeah.
But they're like, we haven't got the money right now. So that has and will be a challenge.
So have you kind of built that sales strategy around the NHS and that kind of, you know, budgets coming up to the year end, and instead of buying random Dyson fans that I've seen in some departments, please buy this because it will actually help and be valuable. Have you built that into your sales strategy?
Not yet. Not yet. I must say the sales strategy within the NHS is still work in progress.
Yes.
Yeah. But like I say, that's all a learning curve as well.
Yeah.
So, but I'm hoping, so I'm on the programme now until the next summer.
Okay.
So I'm kind of hoping I've got to get over the procurement hurdle first before we can kind of look at the sales strategy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of got to come first.
Yeah. And how are you selling to the private world? Is that via your website?
So yes. So basically, I had to befriend social media.
Yeah. As we all do now as founders.
I've been sort of holding it at arm's length for quite a good few years. A little bit wary of it, I was. But so I've had to embrace social media. Somebody I work with, actually, she said, why aren't you on Instagram? I was like, Instagram? I thought, that's for the youngsters, isn't it? TikTok. But she said, no, I think you'd be surprised at how many physios, occupational therapists, private practices actually advertise their businesses on Instagram.
Well, yeah.
So I went on there back in 2023.
Nice.
And I've also... So I've basically made contact with all these physios and OTs, and I'm actually getting inquiries from other countries now as well.
Oh, wow, okay.
But then with those
global.
physios, they've all got their followers.
Yeah.
So you've got the parents, you've got the carers of the patients, and then they see my product and then get in contact with me.
Okay. Oh, so it's not just for physios, it's for... like parents and carers
as well. Wow. Yes, yeah. So a lot of the business that I do is that the physios might be using this in their private practice.
Yeah.
But obviously you want as much carryover on a day-to-day basis, so that person is getting therapy every day.
Wow. And I guess it's so easy to use.
Yeah. So a lot of parents have actually bought it.
Oh, wow.
And then what I've actually said to them is, as the child, say the child's outgrown the small, say if you've got any friends who've got somebody of that it will fit that size, sell it on.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to almost make a sustainable
practice. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. The board itself, I think this will probably be 1 million years in landfill. It's not going to biodegrade anytime soon. But you can actually replace the straps.
Okay.
So I wanted this bit. You know, I don't want hundreds of these in landfill.
No, yeah.
I want people to be able to pass it on and then just recondition the straps. So that's
incredible.
Working on a sustainable kind of approach.
Cool.
I've also set up a website.
Yeah.
So lovely chap David up in Lancaster called Websites Do It.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually helped me navigate setting up a website
Yeah.
and gone through all the pitfalls of having a website. He made sure that I owned it.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
I didn't realise that you can have somebody set a website up for you and you don't actually own.
Yeah.
That was new to me. It was like, oh, okay. Oh, dear. So he's helped me set up the website, and he's got a very strong business background.
Yeah.
So he's actually helping me build a brand.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stop people copying.
Yeah, I was going to ask,
idea.
actually, have you gone through that kind of trademarking?
I went through, because I used to work for a firm of lawyers,
Yeah, you've got that background.
which was very handy.
Yeah.
So I had access to their intellectual property department.
Okay.
So their advice was, make sure you patent.
Yes.
When I actually looked into patenting, it's very expensive. So it's expensive to register your patent.
Mm-hmm.
You then have to maintain it. So there's an
Okay.
annual charge.
Right.
But then the biggest expense, if somebody does try and copy, is having the money to take it to court.
Right.
And of all the engineers that I've spoken to, they've actually said, you know what, it really hasn't
Isn't
been
worth
worth
it.
the money.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
because all you have to
interesting.
do is change one component of something,
Oh, and
and then it
it
becomes a new product.
so instead of Velcro, some
Yeah.
buckles.
Yeah. So David, the websites Do It. He said build a brand.
Yeah.
So what he's actually doing with me is we're actually building a product. Well, the product's been built, but the brand is that this has been driven by a physio
Mm-hmm.
with a strong clinical background
Yeah.
for physios and parents and carers. And when you buy Stan Shaw, you buy our knowledge.
Okay.
And all the physios that have actually bought it, and we've actually set up a directory on the website. So we're trying to build a community,
Oh, that's really good.
which is kind of my way of saying thank you
Yeah, yeah.
for supporting the product. But also when people are looking through the website, they can see, actually it comes with this community of like-minded physios.
Yeah.
And also finding physios that have maybe got complementary skills where they can use this alongside their other products.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we've got physios. So I mentioned that we've used it in hydro. We've used it on, you can get these plates that vibrate.
Okay.
So we use those to help normalise muscle tone. And we've had physios actually strap their patient into the stand shore and then place it on the vibration plate.
Okay.
We've had it on little seesaws, so it rocks from side to side to challenge their balance.
Oh, wow.
We've been using it with, there's a modality called FES, which is functional electrical stimulation. So you basically place electrodes on the skin. It helps to stimulate muscle contraction. And then we've been using that on the patient while they're using the stand shore to keep their feet grounded and doing sit to stand all at the same time.
Wow.
So they get a much more powerful muscle contraction, which then improves their muscle memory
Yeah.
and sort of laying down the pattern in the brain.
Wow. So there's really innovation upon innovation.
Yeah, yeah.
There's loads going on.
And that's really, when I first started with this, it was like, sitting, sit to stand, standing. And now all these brilliant physios are coming up with all these different ideas.
Yeah.
We've been using it with Lycra garments.
Okay.
So we use Lycra there again to help. It's almost like with a Lycra suit, that can be an extra pair of hands just to give you a little bit of reinforcement around your lower back.
Yeah.
Reinforcing around the trunk muscles, that sort of thing. So we actually use the board with Lycra.
So what do you see next for this product then? Do you see partnering with your community of physiotherapists, creating new products, going global? Obviously, that's already happening. What's next?
So based on what I've actually learnt with working with all these physios is listen to constructive criticism. Don't try and make your first product solve all the problems,
Okay.
because some physios say, can we have more holes? Can we have different foot positions and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I'm trying to build a castle on top of my bungalow, And I'm thinking, no, that's probably the next product.
Yeah.
So I've kind of got this as good as I think it can be to maybe serve the bell-shaped curve of the population. So hopefully 65%, 70% we can use this with. The next product I'm actually working on is an abduction wedge.
Explain what that is.
So an abduction. So with a lot of our clients, the knees will shear together.
Okay.
So we call that adduction.
Yeah.
And so you'll need a pair of hands at ground level holding the feet. You'll then need another pair of hands at knee level to stop the knees clunking together.
Yeah.
And then you need another pair of hands to be working on the trunk and maybe the head position. So for some clients, you might need 3 physios.
Right.
So the abduction wedge is actually a block that goes between the knees that helps to keep the knees apart.
Okay.
So that's actually what I'm working on.
Wow.
And some of the physios that I have been working with are helping me in terms of sizing, looking at different materials, depending on the setting that you work in. If it's for the home care, then something that you can just chuck in the washing machine might be good enough.
Yeah.
If you're working in a busy clinic, you want something that you need, that's hygienic, that you can actually. So I'm looking at different materials for that at the moment, different sizes.
Yeah.
So RMS are helping me with the prototyping for that. Well, I have actually got a couple of prototypes that we've tested.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully that will be in production by January.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working
That's quite
on.
a quick turnaround, or have you been working on this for a few?
It's taken a couple of years,
Okay.
sort of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I think I've worked, because of the experience I've had with this, that's been much quicker.
Yeah, you kind of learn.
Second time
Yeah.
around, I think I knew what I was doing
Yeah.
a bit better.
Yeah, and you already had the manufacturer this time that can help you with all of that prototyping and things. So
yeah, and
that's amazing.
Some physios have their own ideas for products as well. So I'm trying to build a little community where we can support each other in terms of their journey.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, paying it back.
It is a little payback to the. It is a supportive community.
Yeah,
actually. It's been a really interesting journey.
It honestly sounds incredible. Like, just to have something so tangible that you're able to say, this is what my career has kind of made.
Yeah.
So it's really, really good. So
it'd be really nice if this was like my legacy.
yeah, exactly. Well, it already is. It already is. So I ask the same question to everyone at the end of this podcast, and that is, what is one advice that you would give someone who is where you were 10 years ago and just first starting out? What is one piece of advice that you would give?
Do your homework.
Yeah.
Network.
Networking's important.
Yeah. Sorry, that's more than one, isn't it?
No, that's all right. What do you mean by doing your homework?
Research your idea, actually, because what might be a good idea in your head
Yeah.
might not be a good idea
In reality.
in reality. So do your research, find out who your market is, actually.
Yeah.
I spent about a year actually doing lots of research,
Okay.
looking at sit-to-stand therapy in general, because I wanted to make sure that it was a good idea that I was looking at. Yeah, so do your homework, do your research, network,
Yes.
do talk to people about it, actually.
Real people in face to face.
Absolutely. And watch the pennies.
Yeah.
I think the best piece of advice I was actually given was don't keep putting your hand in your own pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've met some innovators who are in serious debt, actually, because they've just kept using their savings.
Investing in.
I met one person
yeah.
she'd remortgaged her house.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a risk.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's still a risk that it doesn't work out.
Yeah, yeah.
There are investment opportunities out there. I spent quite a lot of time initially at the British Library.
Okay.
That was actually quite a good resource.
Yeah.
In London,
Yeah.
British Library in London. They run business clinics, which are actually, they're either free of charge or it's just a nominal amount that you pay for the speaker's time. So that was actually quite good.
Yeah.
Have a look also. Our local council, they run little networking sessions
Yeah.
for local business people.
Yeah.
Visit your local library. They'll probably have information
lots
on
going
little
on,
groups
yeah.
that meet for breakfast
Yeah.
in your area.
Yeah.
So, you can't have too many conversations.
No, exactly. So it's really just about absorbing as much as possible in those early
Yes.
stages then, really, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a really, really good conversation. And where can we find you and Standshaw?
So Standshaw, so my website is www.standshawonline.co.uk.
Nice.
And I'm on Instagram as Standshaw 2023.
Lovely.
Because that was the year I went onto Instagram.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, I'll put all your information in the show notes anyway. And thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Coffee with a Female Founder is hosted by me, Amy Cole. If you're interested in finding out more about the Female Founder, sign up to the waitlist at www.thefemalefounder.co.uk. The podcast is recorded and produced by QPod Productions in Oldham, Greater Manchester. For more information, visit kupod.co.uk. If you enjoyed the podcast, please make sure you give us a like, share and follow. If you would like to feature as a guest, please email amy@thefemalefounder.co.uk.